Attention passionate Detroit, Lions fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Detroit Lions' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Detroit Lions fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Detroit Lions fans. Let's get to the news. The Detroit Lions, a team that has been building up momentum over the past few seasons, is now making some intriguing moves that could significantly influence their future. Fans have watched with anticipation as the Lions aim to solidify their roster, especially at the quarterback position, which is the most critical spot in any NFL team. Jared Goff, of course, remains the unquestioned starter, and he's been a revelation for Detroit since he arrived. But as every NFL team knows, having a reliable backup is just as vital, especially in a league where injuries are almost inevitable and depth can make or break a playoff run. Right now, the Lions are actively looking to add a third quarterback to their roster, and the timing couldn't be more crucial. The search for that extra arm has led them to explore the free agent market, where options are starting to thin out but not completely dry. The team's management, led by General Manager Brad Holmes, has been very clear about their intentions. They want someone who can step in if needed, someone experienced enough to run the offense if Jared Goff were to miss any time. That's why the focus has been on veteran quarterbacks who can understand the system quickly and contribute immediately. One name that has been floated around as a potential fit is Mike White. Fans might remember White from his recent stint with the Buffalo Bills, but his NFL journey has been quite a roller coaster. Drafted by the Dallas Cowboys in the 5th round of the 2018 draft out of Western Kentucky, White's path to regular season action has not been straightforward. It took him over 3 years to see his first meaningful snaps in the league, and even then, his opportunities were limited. He's appeared in 15 NFL games, starting 7 of them, all with the New York Jets during the 2021 and 2022 seasons. His record as a starter is 2-5, but stats don't always tell the full story of a young quarterback trying to find his footing in the league. White has completed 61.4% of his passes for 247 yards, throwing 9 touchdown passes against 13 interceptions. These numbers reflect a player with potential, but also a lot to prove. His journey in the NFL has been marked by perseverance, moving from team to team, trying to carve out a role as a reliable backup or even a potential starter someday. After his time with the Jets, he joined the Miami Dolphins in 2023, where he appeared in 6 games, showing flashes of his ability to run an offense. However, last season, he ended up with the Bills, playing in just a single game before being released in August as Buffalo trimmed its roster down to the 53-player limit. For Lions fans, White represents a seasoned option who understands what it takes to operate at the NFL level. His experience with multiple teams and his ability to step into games when called upon make him a viable candidate. The Lions are looking for that kind of veteran presence, someone who can quickly adapt to Goff's system and help keep the team competitive in case of injuries or unforeseen circumstances. Now, it's important to understand the context behind this pursuit. Earlier this offseason, Detroit made a move to cut ties with Hendon Hooker, a third-round pick from 2023. The team had high hopes for Hooker, especially considering his impressive college career at Tennessee, but the plan was to develop him as a potential future starter. Unfortunately, that plan didn't materialize as expected, and the Lions decided to part ways. Instead, the team's focus shifted toward finding a more immediate solution, a veteran who can step in and contribute without needing a long development period. Holmes's comments in a recent press conference shed some light on the situation. He mentioned that there was an initial plan in place, but it fell through, which is not uncommon in the NFL. Teams often have backup plans and contingencies, and in this case, Detroit is clearly still working to add that third quarterback. Holmes emphasized that it could happen any day today, tomorrow, or even later this week. But the goal remains the same: to bring in a player who can serve as a reliable backup. Beyond White, there are other names being considered, primarily players with NFL experience who can run an offense and handle the pressure of game situations. For example, Desmond Ridder, who was drafted in the third round out of Cincinnati in 2022, has been mentioned as a potential option. Ridder has 18 NFL starts to his name, with a record of 8-10, and has shown flashes of competence in his brief career. His career completion rate stands at 63.6%, with 16 touchdowns and 14 interceptions, indicating he's capable of making plays but still has room to improve. Ridder has already started at least one game in each of his 3 professional seasons, 2 with the Atlanta Falcons and last year with the Las Vegas Raiders. His experience and youth could make him an attractive option for Detroit, especially if they're looking for someone with some upside, but also enough NFL seasoning to step in when needed. The Lions' approach to this quarterback search is very strategic. They're prioritizing veterans who can run an NFL offense effectively, players like Tim Boyle, Nate Sudfeld, or John Wolford, who have been around the league, understand the nuances of the game, and can quickly step in if required. The team's philosophy is not to gamble on unproven rookies or developmental quarterbacks at this stage of the season, but to find someone who can immediately contribute and help maintain the team's competitive edge. Interestingly, this focus on veteran depth comes at a time when the Lions are gearing up for what many believe could be their most competitive season in recent history. With Jared Goff leading the offense, the team has shown remarkable growth, especially in their passing game. Goff's connection with his receivers has been one of the best in the league, and his leadership on and off the field has been a big factor in the team's recent success. Yet, as any NFL fan knows, the margin for error is razor-thin, and having a solid backup quarterback is not just a luxury, it's a necessity. Detroit's roster has also been moving in a direction that suggests they are all in on competing at a high level. The front office has been aggressive in free agency and draft picks, building a balanced team with a mix of veteran leadership and young talent. The defense has improved significantly, and the offensive line has become more formidable. All of these elements point toward the Lions believing they can contend for a deep playoff run, and adding a reliable third quarterback is just the next step in that process. So, what does this mean for the fans? Well, it shows that the Lions are serious about ensuring they're covered at all critical positions. They recognize that injuries, or even just a slump, could threaten their Super Bowl aspirations, and they're taking proactive steps to prevent that. The quarterback position, being the most pivotal on the field, deserves this kind of attention. Whether it's Mike White, Desmond Ridder, or another veteran, the goal remains the same: to have a dependable, experienced backup who can keep the offense moving smoothly in any situation. Looking ahead, the Lions' decision on this third quarterback could be announced at any moment. The NFL calendar is always fluid, and teams often make last-minute moves that turn out to be game changers. The fact that Detroit is so actively searching indicates they're not content to wait and see what happens. They want to be prepared, fully aware that the season is long, unpredictable, and demanding. And let's not forget, this move also sends a message to the rest of the division. The NFC North is fiercely competitive, with teams like the Green Bay Packers, Minnesota Vikings, and Chicago Bears all vying for supremacy. By strengthening their roster, especially at a position as vital as quarterback, the Lions are signaling that they're not just here to compete but to dominate. They want to be the team that sets the tone in the division, that other teams have to respect and prepare for every week. As for the fanbase, there's a lot of excitement and curiosity. Many are eager to see who the Lions will bring in, how quickly they'll integrate into the team, and what kind of impact they'll have on the upcoming season. This move, although seemingly behind the scenes, could prove to be a pivotal factor in how far Detroit goes this year. Because, at the end of the day, having a solid backup quarterback isn't just about insurance, it's about peace of mind and confidence going into every game. So, as we keep a close eye on this situation, remember that the Lions are actively working behind the scenes to ensure they're as prepared as possible. Whether it's Mike White, Desmond Ridder, or someone else, the message is clear. Detroit is all in, and they're not leaving anything to chance. The season is just around the corner, and every move counts. Stay tuned, because the Lions' roster moves this offseason might just be the difference between a playoff exit and a Super Bowl appearance. And now, Detroit Lions fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Detroit Lions. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Detroit Lions news.